Can you talk us through your approach? I know you say you can apply it to other parts of your life, but essentially when it comes to elite athletes and the sports teams and individuals that you've worked with, they are under a unique and immense amount of pressure in a very public arena.
I think the problem that we have is that sport team, and if you excuse the media, and if the media is stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, is always result driven, and results are outcomes. And once people start focusing on the outcome and lose the point of the process, in other words, I teach you the process and we adhere to that process no matter what, and it's getting people to understand that that's the key. But once we start worrying about the outcome, then we're in trouble. And I think that, in anything you do, what is the process? What are the fundamentals? And then you might say to me, well, Dave, you said to me, so if I was teaching you to goal kick, for example, okay,
well, we could try.
No, there are no limits.
Okay.
If I teach you to goal kick, I might say to you, well, keep your eye on the ball. And you would say to me, well, I can see the ball, but I can also see the target, and I'm worried about this. But if I say to you, I want you to see the piece of stitching on the ball, that becomes so engaging that displaces everything else. And then if I say to you, instead of just hitting the target, I want you to hit a spot in the middle of the target. Okay, consciously, I lock you into that process. And practice is about locking into that process over and over again. So when you come to the day of reckoning, it doesn't matter where you are. If you see the stitching and you see the spot, the ball goes over.
Okay, well, maybe in your case it would.
Well,
so talk to me when you are in those high-pressure situations, if it's a World Cup and you are taking about to make that decisive kick, what is then going through your mind, and how do you approach that situation with what you've learnt from Dave?
As Dave was saying about the outcome side driving the fear of failure and the anxiety and that side of it, it's impossible to commit to something you don't want to happen. So a fear of failure might give you a motivation of sorts, but you cannot fully commit everything you've got to something you don't want to happen. It's a case of protecting yourself. You can't protect and go after something at the same time. When you release it through excitement and passion, you automatically can engage every part of you. So that whole thing becomes about a desire to make things happen, to put the ball in that exact area, to visualize it, to see it, to enjoy the feeling of it, to get excited about how good this could be. As soon as you open that space of positive, proactive motivation, it becomes a process of acceleration that continues through the event and beyond the event. And in any walk of life, and in any dictionary as well, you'll always see the definition of an event comes afterwards. Even in the dictionary, there's the word, then there's the definition, it comes afterwards. If you want a goal kick, it doesn't stop at the goal kick. It stops way beyond. Life doesn't stop at the event. You continue beyond it and you make it inevitable. So any thoughts about what may happen stop you accelerating. It's the whole point of hesitancy. You see guys playing golf, they start with a big swing, and as they get to the ball, it kind of slows down. It just looks horrible. But as you accelerate beyond, you define what happens before, because you link it into a straight process, which is what Dave's talking about. So that desire to go beyond has to come through excitement, passion, and that's what happens in those events. You have to find your own reason for excitement and passion. How good is it going to be? How good could this moment be? Not what happens if it isn't.